Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today, I would like to share my thoughts on Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Episode 6. Which this was an episode a lot of us manga readers were waiting for. And let me tell you, JC staff did not disappoint. I would say they even outdid themselves with the adaptation here, the introduction of Ignia, his confrontation with Natsu, Natsu's battle against Mercphobia, and even the inclusion of one of the bonus chapters from the end of Volume 2, Troubled Lucy, which is why we're starting this video with a screenshot of Lucy, of course, and that just leads me to believe they're probably going to adapt all of the bonus chapters in one form or another. If you remember the original Fairy Tail series, they adapt pretty much all of them, as well as even turn some into OVAs. And of course, you'll remember the Water Park OVA, the Christmas OVA, all sorts of fun stuff. The Fairy Tail and Rave Master crossover, of course. And there are only a couple pages in the manga, and in this case, the adaptation in the anime is like 2 minutes to start the episode. But to me, it just captures the spirit of Fairy Tail so well, where we have Lucy going through writer's block, Natsu and Happy barge in, Lucy, oh, what are you doing in my apartment? They go on a quest, and it's just all sorts of good stuff. And then, of course, cutting right to the action, where we get the introduction of Ignia, who reveals himself as the true son of Ignia, but also the fire dragon god. And if you remember from the very start of the series, Eleftheria told our heroes that there are 5 dragon gods, and we've already met 2 of them. The water dragon god, Mercphobia, and now the fire dragon god, Ignia. So, lots of good stuff. Let's get right to it with the screenshots. I love this, man. Like, you know, you remember the cliffhanger from last week where our heroes were fighting Mercphobia, but they stood no chance against him. And of course, Natsu being a fire dragon slayer, no match for the water dragon god, right? And then the episode kicks off with this, where Lucy's making her derpy face, and then, oh, something's never changed. Look how angry she is. And look at them. They just don't stop eating, man. Look, there's a pile of bones, a slice of pizza, a bunch of popcorn, and they got crumbs on their face, and Lucy's pissed. Like, how long have you been at my house for? But you get some really cute moments. The Nalu shipping moments, if you will, between the two of them. and Lucy is just fighting back with Natsu. He's trying to come up with excuses like, oh, just ask for an extension for your deadline since you have writer's block. Get out of my house, I need to work. And, oh, man, like, how do they make Lucy look so beautiful, man? She's just wearing a basic t-shirt, and she looks like an absolute goddess. Like, look at her, man. Perfection. But Natsu says, okay, you need money? Let's go on this quest and go after these giant anteaters. And Lucy at first is like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Aye, sir! And Natsu is just like, alright, come on, we're going, whether you like it or not. And again, man, just look at her eyes. She's beautiful. I love Lucy so much, man. But, you know, they go on their quest to see the anteaters. And I assure you, dear viewer, this is absolutely relevant for the plot. And as this happens, we get the title card here. Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest begins soon. And Happy holding up the sign. So cute, man. I love it. So that's how the episode kicked off. And then there was a bit of a recap, too, between the battle against Diabolos and how they fled. And then confronting Mercphobia. And I should also note, too, last week I hadn't watched episode 3 dubbed. But this week I did watch episode 3 dubbed, and I also watched episode 4 dubbed, which was the return of Brandish, of course. And I'm happy to report that Amber Lee Connors also reprised her role as Brandish. The voice actor for Skullion was great in the English dub. And they haven't given the credits for most. They gave the credits for Ichia and Jenny. They all returned. Christopher Guerrero and Elizabeth Maxwell is Jenny. But they haven't given the credits for everybody, but I can tell because Jalal had more lines. Robert McCollum definitely returned for Jalal, so that's good. Anyway, oh, here's a comparison. Yeah, because I do like showing the comparisons every now and then. And just look at the text here. I've got to write it down before I forget. Hey, watch where you're putting that tongue. Whoa, what's going on here? Focus on the job, Lucy. Like, what? You gotta love Mashima. So yeah, the battle continues. Mercphobia is just destroying. Mind you, this is the the town he vowed to protect, but he's gone berserk because at the end of episode 5, Toka, the white mage, really the white mage, because Toka's the good side. There's like two personalities living in Toka's body. Toka's the good one, the white mage is evil. The white mage took control of Mercphobia's powers, and at the very end of episode 5, you saw everyone in Fairy Tail was unconscious because Toka sapped all their magical energy. We don't see Toka or anyone else in this episode, by the way, so that'll continue next week. But yeah, she's the one controlling Mercphobia. Caramel's upset. Urza and Gray can't do anything. Neither can Lucy. And then Natsu's trying to attack when all of a sudden this giant dragon hand just appears and grabs him. I'm like, what's going on? And you see the teeth. And he puts the two and two together. That's a flashback to Ignia, not to be confused with Ignia. Ignia, Natsu's foster father, the dragon who raised him. But it turns out, no, this is the true son of Ignia. Ignia. And you can tell because of this tattoo, which is different. And this is another comparison with the manga. Right? I think it looks better in the manga, honestly. But the color is nice. And I do say that the anime edges it out for me just because I like the music and the voice acting. But yeah, Ignia shows up. I am the fire dragon god, Ignia. And that's the comparison to the manga as well. And I think I mentioned this last week, but they corrected it. They were saying before, I couldn't really tell because they were speaking in Japanese, but with the subtitles, they had it worded the fire god dragon. It's really the fire dragon god, and they fixed it. They fixed it 2 weeks ago, so that's good. And then when it goes out on Blu-ray, it'll be fixed, I'm sure. So the two of them confront each other, and Ignia just basically reveals to Natsu that he's the true son, and you're weak, you're pathetic. And despite the fact that Mercphobia is the water dragon god, he's stronger. Even though he has fire, Ignia, that is, not Natsu. He's saying how weak Natsu is, but Ignia is stronger. And just because he's at like a type disadvantage, we're talking Pokemon now, I guess, where he's at a type disadvantage, he can still overpower him. And he says to Natsu, it'd be a waste to fight him now, so get stronger, Natsu. And what he does is, before Mercphobia was flooding the town, well, Ignia is burning the town and tells Natsu to eat his flames, because that's another way Natsu can replenish power and gain new abilities. So he eats the flames reluctantly at first, because he's like, I'm not going to eat those flames from that creep. But yeah, he starts, trying to fight him, and he just stops his punch really easily. He's like, you're no match for me, Natsu. Get stronger, then I'll fight you. So there's all the flames, and then Lucy's like, you gotta eat the flames, Natsu. And I was like, I'm not eating them. That guy's a creep. I'm not gonna eat him. But he eats him anyway, in his typical Natsu fashion. And again, that's like perfect. Look at how close it is to the manga. So perfect adaptation right there, where he eats all the flames. And he's all fired up now. He gets Dragon Force. But he also has the thing underneath his eyes, which Dragon Force, he gets the scales. But the thing with his eyes is reminiscent to END. So, right? So he's going berserk. Starts beating the ever-living hell out of Mercphobia. And, he's no match. And while this is going on, too, they had the Dragon Force theme playing in the background. It was so good. Dude, the music in Fairy Tail is incredible. I love it so much. But yeah, Natsu beats the shit out of him. And, what Ignia said, despite being at a disadvantage, because, water would beat fire in a normal situation, no. With Ignia's flames, he's able to overpower him and defeat him. And while this is going on, Caramel's getting all upset. Like, oh no! But because she had told Natsu to kill him, put him out of his misery, but then Natsu's like, no, he's not a bad guy. He's just, using his powers against his will, and we gotta see the true side to him or whatever. But she starts crying and praying for him. And while this is going on, because Natsu defeated him, did we see him on the ground before? Yeah, he gets knocked down. He's lying on the ground, but Natsu's like, he's not done yet. We're gonna kill him. And Lucy's getting really worried. For the first time, I feared Natsu's fire, because that's another thing that Ignia said. He's like, you don't need your friends. If you're not gonna get stronger, I'll kill your friends one by one. And then Natsu did his power of friendship speech, where he's like, no, my friends, give me my strength to overpower everything. But he's going completely berserk that even Lucy's getting worried. And you see he's huffing and puffing, ready for like the killing blow, because Mercphobia is not dead, but he's gravely injured. And he's ready to go. One last attack. When all of a sudden, Lucy comes behind him and hugs him and gets him to stop. And that's able to calm Natsu down. And this, not only, this is the main moment for a lot of people, but also, obviously, the debut of Ignia. But this is one that's been going around for a long time. People love this scene from the manga, especially if you're a fan of Natsu and Lucy. And I would say they also did an excellent job here. So, good stuff. She's able to calm Natsu down. And with that, it's over. And yeah, this episode was all non-stop action. Just Natsu fighting Mercphobia. Everyone looking on, and we didn't even get the B plot because, like I said, episode 5 ended on that cliffhanger with Toka sapping the magical energy from the members of Fairy Tail. But yeah, it was just a lot of stuff going on here. Really looking forward to hearing the English dub voice of Ignia. I thought his Japanese voice was great, but I prefer the English dub with Fairy Tail. And yeah, it's crazy how fast they're adapting this series so far. I understand the first season's going to be 25 episodes. Here we are 6 episodes into it already, and we're already halfway through Volume 3. We have the next arc to look forward to. I would guess there's probably going to be like 2, maybe there's probably only going to be 2. Sort of bridging the gap between this arc and the next arc. And there's going to be a lot of really cute moments, the slice of life moments. There's the one... You can kind of tell here, obviously Natsu's, burning up. Lucy's shirt, melts off, right? In the manga, anyway. They're going to have to adapt it into anime, too. It looks to be interesting how they do it. And in the next chapter, and in this case, probably the next episode, Lucy's complaining about how she has burns on her chest. And Natsu's like, oh, you're fine. Lift her shirt up. And she's like, hey, don't do that. So it'll be funny to see how they adapt that. But... oh, man. Lots of good stuff coming up, especially of Juvia. If you guys are fans of Juvia, look forward to that. Most likely next week. And then, yeah, I can't wait to see how they adapt the next characters. The next Dragon God we'll see. Lots of great stuff. I've been loving watching Fairy Tail each week, as I keep telling you guys. Again, getting caught up with the English dub. I watched episode 3 and 4. And, can't wait to continue with that as well. And I definitely can't wait to see what happens next week with episode 7. I mean, I already know it's going to happen having read the manga, but just seeing how they adapt it and who's voicing the characters and whatnot. And I'm also really looking forward to more of the bonus chapters. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. And stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Everybody have a great day, and peace out.
99.